Hey guys, trying to do an update for you here into the close. Um, in the options group, the only thing I really did on the options side today was around the VIX, which I want to talk about in a second. But if you guys are playing Amazon calls, I put that in the options room just for heads up. I mean, you're not going to get this till after the close anyway. By the time I get it out, that's just what we call like a lotto play around earnings. Kind of fun to be in. I don't know. We'll see if they gap them up or not. It's actually Amazon's breaking out of the wedge, so I'm not surprised that everything that's going on with the gamma positioning this week around all that VAR risk that came off last week around the GameStop, that the Nasdaq's pushing higher as the Amazon's looks fantastic technically. So watch that tonight for a little bit of a clue as to whether or not the Nasdaq retests this high or we make a new high. What I wanted to lead with, it's just amazing the amount of FOMO and how people treat these markets. I mean, you're going to come in here and act like you're going to be the tail that wags the dog when we're dealing with trillions and trillions of big capital that really moves the markets. I mean, it's great that retail's 25% of the market now, if you can measure it at that. But it's a shame that they manipulate it. It is what it is. I mean, obviously people should be going to jail for it, and the SEC only protects the Madoffs of the world, but can't let the little guy raise money in an ICO to start a business. So that's unfortunately old Wall Street and the establishment, that the whole populism versus the corrupt system that we've been fighting for a while, it's not going to end. But if you want to be a victim or do you want to actually learn a process, I was trying to short up here at 400, 450. I got a few puts off before all the mayhem and things got crazy and they didn't allow the trading. But this was a cover. I wouldn't touch the stock on the long side. There's no reason why it can be at 40 tomorrow. But people just doing things without a process, just trying to trade off of news threads and chat rooms is crazy. We're trying to stick to a process here. So I wanted to share with you guys. I mean, I went over today. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to attach in the email I'm going to send out this new analysis we're doing. So I put it on my social this morning. I threw it in the chat. If you guys are in there, you probably saw it. What I like about it is it's great visual. This is some new software that I think it's great. It makes it easy for me to post. It's way better than PDFs. Big visual on the charts. And then what I'm going to be doing is just picking out different topics, whether it's a longer term stuff on a weekly or monthly basis, doing global macro, or maybe sending out alerts for specific Forex calls that we're doing, maybe more intermediate term. Day trade stuff has to be live more in the Zoom setting. That's better served for you guys that way. But anyway, I'm excited about it. And then what I do is I do a video of me going through this stuff. So it's not just having to read on the chart and then trying to decipher what I was drawing on the chart. I kind of go through it, the thinking. And it's about hopefully just teaching you guys or getting a glimpse of the process and realizing this isn't about chasing Portnoy. And I think it kind of maybe is kind of insulting to some of you that are trading with us and with me, that you think that that's what we're doing. I mean, if that's entertainment, you want to watch that, but there's a huge part of the market is just chasing people around on the socials. So we don't do that. It's about having a model and a process. And so I went through some of the big picture thoughts coming into February and March. I think it's going to be pretty pivotal. You can sign up for that here. So again, I'll put that in this email I'm sending out. It's on my Twitter or Stock Twits, and it's in the chat. This is what I wanted to hit on. Also, I kind of put my thoughts on the NASDAQ and all that on there. But as far as the VIX or the volatility guys goes, this is important to know that what's the main driver of the markets now isn't fundamentals. It's not all the old Wall Street stuff. It's literally the bulk of it is the mechanisms of the dealer flow, the options flow, dark pools, all the liquidity back and forth. The option market is a huge driver, and so that's all tied into the volatility, implied volatility, the positioning of these dealers and banks. And so I'm teaching this in this new Vol Edge product. This is probably going to be the last membership I do on the retail side, because I can't really handle anymore from a timing, just the amount of manual time it takes. Unless some of you guys wanted to help me out on it. I mean, I could use some help maybe in the crypto community also. But right here, this Vol Edge, I'm gonna have the program at $1,000, and I still have it at $499. But I'm teaching you some of these concepts around why Vol is doing what it's doing. Some of you wanted to play AMC today or this week on the options if you were able to trade them, and you got the direction right, and the market came your way, but you lost because of the huge premiums in the implied vol, which was a measure of basically participants expecting big moves, and they get all hyped up. It's the same thing around earnings. You expect big moves, so the option prices get expanded in the market. So you could have the direction right, but if you're buying or you're doing debit, you're paying for options, whether it's puts or calls, if that implied volatility gets sucked out of the contract, regardless of whether or not the stock goes up or down, and you're right, directionally, you can still lose money. So you want to be a net seller of these types of things, and these are things you want to learn. So I have the options course, but this Vol Edge is another way, not only just to learn about like what's driving the overall market and how we can look for certain spots in the market, like where things should hold, but I'm going to teach you the three main strategies how to make money around trading vol. And this has been one of our most successful strategies since I started JRM, going back almost 4 years now. And it's between UVXY, which is an ETF, levered ETF, and this thing. So everybody gets excited about like a big move in GME, but then what are they going to do? Their next process is they're going to wait around for 6 months or a year for another short squeeze opportunity to happen like that, and everybody get behind a certain play. This UVXY has been going down and down to the lower right of the chart ever since it was created, and it will always do that because of the way these levered ETFs work, the way the vol roll works on the futures contract. You can read about this stuff on the internet, but I can show you a consistent process of how to trade this with puts and options, or if you want to short the stock. But it's going to be a consistent thing that you can do. I mean, we're down 12% today. I mean, this thing's moved from 16 to 11, but it'll be back. If the market makes new highs, this will be at 9 or 8 next week or into the middle of February. So something like this that you can go back to in a repeatable process, because this is what you want to look for that helps you. I mean, we're having over a 90% win rate just in the last 60 days between UVXY, trading the VIX. You can't trade the actual VIX index. You can trade the calls and puts around it. So we've been using the call side to trade what we call the tail risk and volatility. We're buying the wings. And then in the meantime, I'm trading around the futures, which has always been a little bit difficult for people to get involved, because sometimes the CME makes one full contract be worth, you got to put up as much as 30 grand. But now there's the minis, the VIX minis. And so again, we're pairs trading this in a fashion where you're not just outright long the market. I'm long and short the VIX on different months. So I don't have this huge bet on one way or the other, but when I get my different levels of the market, and I don't really care whether the market goes up first or down first, I'm just going to sell more front month futures when we're high within the range and on the cycle. When we get back low, I'm going to cover them. So today I was booking the short front month, the VIX futures that I'm short, booking profit there. And then maybe I'll add to the VIX futures on the long side if we get back to 23, 24 down here below pi. I bought a few calls back that we made good money on the last 2 weeks when the VIX blew out, and then I was short puts, and we covered some of that today on UVXY. I just covered some of that before we jumped on. So anyway, if you guys want to learn vol, you want to learn what moves the market. I mean, even like catching things in the NASDAQ and S&P on Sunday has to do with a lot because of what happened on Friday. And there's a huge, we went over this from the prop team, there's a huge gamma squeeze, and this can happen down or up, but we had gamma exposure pretty high here, third week in February with the VIX being low, and now you have the opposite. But when you have this big collapse in gamma exposure and the market sells off, but the market doesn't break, you get the spike in vol, but then it comes right back off, and then you get the market to rally. So this is so what happens is there's a readjustment, and the guys that are short certain amount of calls, they have to buy S&Ps, and it creates these squeezes where the market just rallies and rallies, and it's just math. It's a big part of the market. So here, this is what happens. Look at the NASDAQ, straight up, right? Straight up after gamma exposure got low, boom, straight up. S&Ps, same thing. And I talked about that can reverse and actually work the other way when equities break, but we haven't broken trend or haven't done enough damage on S&Ps for that paradigm or that dynamic to flip where it kind of works in the opposite fashion. But I mean, just look at the daily on this VIX. I mean, straight down, boom, vol just collapsed out of Friday. A lot of it had to do with I think a lot of the shorts in the hedge fund space were able to get a lot of their short exposure back with all the Robinhood fuckery. But yeah, that's what I want to say, guys. Join the vol edge program if you haven't. If you want to, I mean, if I was going to build a hedge fund around trading vol, I'm going to teach you the exact same stuff, and it's a great strategy. And you can do it on a small scale. You can do it on a big scale. So go to jenkinscm.com. It's still $4.99 for the year. So do that while we're in January. Again, that's been the best spot to be. It's been the best performing trade for me, and only one month into the year. Here's some of my VIX. Here's a chat room. I mean, we signal this all day, every day. So this is going to be more exclusively, though, all this vol stuff. And I've been sprinkling it in this cycle edge, but it's going to be in the private vol edge room. I mean, that was just trading this one strike, 25 strikes. UVXY, look at that kind of day. I mean, you don't need a lot of those puts to have a pretty decent day. Here's the VIX futures, 20 grand last month. And then like, here's what I did today on the short. So you can see like here, I'm still long 3, but I was short like 5 or 6 coming into this week. So nice day today there. And it's just pruning and planting, but you're managing the risk both sides, trading it around. I mean, I love trade vol because it's just, you're going to get moves either way, but a lot of times you can just, as long as you're not in a bear market or equities aren't breaking down, most of the time you're in favor of volatility coming in. It's just the nature of the beast. All right. Hope that helps. Anything else I was going to add? If you guys want to join the prop program too, I still have the discounted prices. I haven't changed it. I don't even think I changed this is going to change after this week. So any of you guys that want to be part of the prop program you were last year, you want the discounts going for all of this year, you got to let me know. I'll message some of you, because after this week, the prices for anybody that wants to join for the rest of the year is just going to be higher, because I got to spend time with the institutional guys, and for basically my time every morning, it's not going to be $1,000, but it's $1,000 for 90 days. You want 6 months, it's $2 grand. Where I used to charge $5 grand for just 8 weeks, but that's teaching you the model, how to trade, how to not get run over by GME, stuck on the highs, chase, FOMO. Learn something that'll pay you the rest of your life, right edges, learn the cycles, apply it to any market, any time frame. If you want to day trade together, we can do that. You want to swing trade, longer term trade, investing. It's all there. Everything I know, 15 years. We'll do it together. I'll help you figure out, get your mindset right. If you're getting tripped up, I can help you figure out what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. But it's all a process. So you got to have a coach if you want to get you to where you want to be. If you're not where you want to be, it's because you're in your own head. You don't have the answers. You need somebody to help show you the answers and help you get to the solution faster. So we get results together as a team. We have been. Make this your best year. You got to message me or sign up. And I got to hit the road. I'll see you guys in the morning.